Here on the Crtv Thnkr Podcast, we discuss all theories, philosophy, and thought behind the creative process. And we hope that you find some inspiration along the way. Hello and welcome to the Crtv Thnkr Podcast. Shout out to creative thinkers all across the globe. My name is Henry.
And I am Michael, your co-host.
And today we're going to create a horror story.
Ooh.
And stuff. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Another world building episode. Judging by the plays alone, no reviews really. We're going to say that this is a good format. People really dig this.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. We got reviews too. So it's not just a shot in the dark. We're irresponsible, but not to that degree.
Yeah.
So we're going to do some more world building today.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna build a schlocky horror story right here in front of your very ears, and then at the end, so halfway through the episode, we'll take our normal break for what's been inspiring us, and then for the second half of the episode, we'll create an elevator pitch, and we'll talk about how to make your story exciting in 3 to 5 sentences and make it elevator ready.
Mm-hmm.
So just quick pitches and stuff like that. So
solid
horror stories, Michael.
So I feel like you're gonna have to help me out with this because I am not a horror person. I don't like watching horror movies or scary movies because they scare me.
Why did you agree to this?
I told myself one of my mantras and I said, it doesn't matter. I was just trying to overcome kind of that fear. And
so don't be a bitch is what you said.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Don't be a bitch. This is you're gonna have to help me out with this one. I'll give you my ideas. Like I'm scared of stuff, and I tried to incorporate a little bit of horror elements in D&D. Sometimes successfully, sometimes not, because it's still a fantasy game. But
dude, the Halloween episodes are dope.
Oh yeah,
we always do Halloween episodes. So I think it's going to be a successful episode. Now we just put all this doubt into people's minds.
No, not me. You listen and watch horror stuff, right? Maybe. I listen to horror stuff actually.
I think The Conjuring is such a good movie. That's like probably my favorite one.
Oh, interesting.
I'm going to pull up a bunch of movies that you've never heard of, that are my top 3 favorite movies. And I'm just going to give you like the elevator pitch for them when we get to that point.
Okay, sweet.
But before that, we're going to talk about a horror story and we're going to create it.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you afraid of, Michael? What's on the list?
I mean,
that you're comfortable sharing all across the globe for everyone in the world to find.
So yeah, you can know exactly what scares me.
That's going to be great, dude. I cannot wait.
So there are 2 kind of things that scare me when we start talking about, I guess, what scares me. One of them is like weird, creepy aliens, I guess. There was like some movie that came out. It had to have been in the 90s.
You're talking about Signs. Is with all the corn and
no, not Signs, but also Signs. When I first watched it, that did scare me. I could not look at the alien thing there because it was just like this. I think they did a good job at that time of like presenting this creature and like the horror elements of it. And then when I saw it, I was like, that looks unnatural. So it did definitely like give me the heebie-jeebies, But man, it was some like alien movie. I think it was supposed to be like kind of a comedy or something like that. But I was super young. And so I guess I was having like a nightmare or something because my parents would leave the door open in our room. And I say our room because me and my brother are 2 years apart. So we shared rooms and they left the door open in our room. And I remember, I guess I must have been dreaming or having a nightmare. These like little green alien creatures like going through the doorway, and it was because I saw that movie and like it just gave me the creeps, and I think since then like stuff that's like around the corner or like hidden in the corner, it just gives me a weird vibe. I don't like it. I don't like that. And so that kind of brings me to like the second point of like whenever I see stuff about like demons and things like that kind of gives me just like really weird and creepy vibes. Not like it really depends too. Like some things have been done really well where like the demonic presence is like, just don't like it. It gives me the creeps. And so, yeah, that's kind of like, stuff that scares me. Stuff that's like just slightly off in the shadows. You don't know what it is. And then something that comes out, it's just like completely not what you expected. But
So
yeah,
ghoulish afterlife creatures squirming in the dark just beyond view.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice,
That's
nice,
a good synopsis of my fear.
That's what we're here for. We're here for synopses.
Yeah,
Synopsises.
synopsini.
Synopsini. We're here for synopsini today on the Crtv Thnkr Podcast.
So I can't let you get away from this. What scares you?
We're moving on.
Nope.
What are you talking about? This is not about me. This is about us.
Okay. What is us scared about, Henry?
So for me, I think the biggest things. What are you giggling about? You're giggling about something.
Besides like the deep fear of failure and any type of insecurities.
Yes. Yeah. Other than just general insecurities, which doesn't make for a good movie. About adults anyway. You're like, they should have dealt with that shit.
Right.
If it's somebody in high school, you're like, yeah, give me the insecurities. That's 100%. But now they're adults. Okay. We're over it. So definitely I would say, I'm going to zoom in on you. There you go. Get a nice gulp of water.
Stay hydrated.
It's going off the rails. Okay. So what I'm most afraid of, and this comes from, well, I don't know where it comes from, but it definitely was heightened being in a village in Alaska, 350 miles from the closest anything. And the winter and the howling wind, and Gracie was in Texas for her work. I was like, I'm by myself. Absolutely by myself. And I was like, what if I am sequestered from the rest of humanity for the rest of my existence? And just sort of slip slowly into the revolving madness of anxiety and insecurity. Yeah. Nice. Tie-ins. That's some of the professional level observations that you can expect here. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So just sort of slipping away and being sequestered from everything else. And it's almost like those enforced prisons, like Shutter Island. I know you never seen it because you don't like those kinds of movies, but basically, to not give anything away, and I think this is the right movie, Leonardo DiCap. He's on this island and he's this detective examining what they're doing there. Something is amiss and everybody's sort of oppressing the people of this island. And it turns out that he's may or may not be, through his investigation, they may have drugged him up to be a patient there, or he may have already been a patient there. Spoiler alert, it's been out forever. So don't blame me.
Spoiler. What was the conclusion?
That is the conclusion. He doesn't know whether he was there before, like the whole time.
Really?
And he doesn't know, like, he may have actually been a detective, or he may have been delusional and been on Shutter Island. Yeah. So,
gotcha.
So it's like movies like that. I never watched it. I watched it once because I just can't. That is the thing for me. I can't watch those movies.
Gotcha.
It's like you lose your autonomy. And that really messes with me.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to mesh those things together. The demonic presence, the shadows, and the endless loneliness of not knowing whether you're sane or insane. We're going to try to mesh those things together to make our monster. Yes,
absolutely. So I know we were talking about like a schlocky horror story. So would you like to describe what a schlocky horror
Let's talk
story
about schlock.
Yeah, let's talk about the schlocky. Oh, schlock, just the definition.
Yeah, let's define it first.
Gotcha.
Because we've recently merged into a lot of professionalism on the podcast. I don't know if you've noticed. So schlock, you really want to let the phlegm build up before you say that. But schlock sort of just leaps out of the back of your throat into your nose. So it is cheap, trashy. The example is a schlock store, which you can't even say. A schlock store, and it's a noun, something of cheap or inferior quality or junk.
Okay.
So everybody...
So we're creating a junky horror story?
Junky horror story, yeah. Nice. So
like it.
The reason for that is so that we can throw in some fun elements.
Yeah, for sure.
that may not be. I just don't want it to be like, hey, this is the movie you saw last summer. I don't want to fall into that.
Yeah, for sure.
Unless you have Sci-Fi Channel. I don't know if they still do that. When I was a kid, it was always like Fridays or Saturdays. It was just runs of these terrible sci-fi movies that were supposed to be scary, like Tremors 18 or whatever number they're on now. Yeah, it's just like these fun but terrible movies. And no offense to anybody who's on that movie, but it's got a lovable charm. Mm-hmm. So that's what we're trying to create here today with some schlock. It's such a gross word.
It really is.
I hate saying it, but it's also really fun because it is so gross.
Yeah.
It's a great word for horror. So first of all, I would like to say, like, we mentioned demons, but I think we could also throw in just sort of like spiritual afterlife beings, mm-hmm. and say, like, maybe this is, is this interplanar? Is this spiritual? Is this something that we didn't know was here on planet Earth? Or is this like aliens? Like, where are we talking? What genre you want to start with?
Oh, snap, me? Yeah, I would say like,
you're a part of this, are you not?
Yeah.
I'm not asking the people driving home.
I would say like our monster is like this weird creature that is on Earth and that has been here, but like we don't, I guess, know about it. I don't know. Or we don't.
Like Godzilla, if you're watching, I'm wearing the t-shirt. How we didn't know they were there and he just gets awoken.
Yeah, something like that. Or like I think of like Lovecraftian stuff, like these eldritch beings that are like present, but like then they don't really like care. Like I think Godzilla would definitely like fit into that, like eldritch being, like this creature that comes out of the ocean that is massive and beyond comprehension and will cause destruction, but it doesn't care. It's like not doing it intentionally. It's just willy-nilly, going and doing its thing. I think that's kind of like an eldritch horror type vibe.
So like, I'm sure he has one, but I haven't read a lot of his stuff. But like, how about this kind of like soupy black tar kind of mixture that is maybe gathering implements for some sort of spell? Okay. And so then it is like it doesn't really care that they are people. It just needs to use the material they're made of.
Yeah.
Maybe almost like a zombie movie or something where there's like, or it's just kind of the trope they're going to now, where it's like there's leaders that it makes, or like The Last of Us, where here's the smart ones, and that's the one that the Eldritch Beast actually inhabits, and like takes over. Mm-hmm. And then those are the ones that sort of usher all these other people into the soup.
Mm-hmm.
Does that sound like a dank place to start?
Yeah.
Is that creepy enough?
I think so. Because I think, when we talked about signs earlier, I think that was the thing that was kind of like creepy about it, was like this, I guess it was a corporeal form, but like this black featureless alien that you see like on a shaky video cam. Like that's what kind of creeped you out, because it was humanoid enough, but I think we as humans can still see when things aren't human. And it kind of gives you like a weird, creepy vibe. Like you don't know exactly what it is. Of course, for signs, we could very clearly tell what it was, but our brain's like trying to make this connection of like, it should fit into this trope right here, but it's kind of like not,
like a halfway between Dark Water, which I'm sure you haven't seen, and then the newer Terminator movies, where it's like this soupy metallic.
Okay.
The Dark Water is like, it's black water and it's coming in to kill people, right?
Okay.
Sort of building on the fear of water, but instead of that, it's like it's somewhat of a human form, like Mimic from Pokemon. Like it takes on the shape of things, but it still has the same dead eyes.
Oh, yeah, gotcha.
Like that's
a good
vibe.
example. I like that.
Where it's I read this quote today. Yeah.
Oh man, that's weird. Thinking of like, like I really wanted to watch the Pokemon live action, like what was it, Detective Pikachu or whatever. Uh-huh. But like just thinking like live action Ditto onto like a human person, it's just like two dots and like that's their face. Like, oh, that's so weird. Oh.
Yeah, it really was. It was gross. Did
that happen?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, 100% it happened. Got our first skin crawl moment here on the podcast. So Yeah, so it's like it shows up in what way? So when does this phenomenon occur? How do we? So like always at the beginning of the movie, there is some. It's usually like two young like lovers who get killed first, who come in contact with it first.
Yeah.
That doesn't have to be what we do, but there is somebody who dies in the first scene. So how do we first come in contact with our beast? And maybe we should name the beast too. Maybe like Soupy Black. Just kidding.
Soupy Black, because that's what I have written down.
Yeah.
Oh man, let's get with the name first. Ooh, you know what? I mean, unless you got a name right now.
I'm thinking, I think a G name would be really good because it's like Gulp and Glorp and all those kinds of names start with a G.
I'm going to the handy dandy fantasy name generator, because I like using it.
Nice. I love that. I love that for us.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good, place. Again, if you're ever in a kind of a fog of you don't know like what to do next, definitely use that for names, because the names can like push you towards a direction. Lovecraftian names, not easy to say or spell, so I would say no.
Dude,
try saying that first one. My best.
Dude, I'm trying my best. That's what the first one is.
Oh, what if that's what it is? Like, because we're trying to make it schlocky, and it's like my best, and then someone's like, "Did he just say my best? Are we getting attacked by my best?"
All right. If we do this, it's MHAABHEST.
MH apostrophe.
Yes. Okay.
AABHEST.
Apostrophe AABHEST. I hope you're spelling this at home because it is worth it.
Oh, I like that. I like what
my best. My God of Underdeep. So
God of Under. Okay,
how about
like
this?
Black
how about this?
Soupy being. Demon King of Underdeep, because people can't read what you're typing.
Yeah. I realized that now. I realized that. Yeah, I was so excited about that, and I was like, I bet they love this, and then I didn't say it out loud.
So then, is this creature going to be? Is this the creature, or is this like the one pulling the strings?
Let's say. Demon Prince. So he's trying to come to power.
Oh, like it. I like it.
And it's a game of souls at this point. The king has already soaked up so many. I would say like leech fields is what this makes me think of. And it's just where like, I don't know, gross oozy stuff comes to the surface. Let me look up the definition for people who actually know what a leech field is.
Yeah, you said that. I don't know if that was a movie, if that was a show. I have no idea what leech field is. Or is it like a field of leeches?
What is a leech field? Leech field consists of an underground system of perforated pipes adjacent to your septic tank. After contaminated liquid waste has been filtered or mixed down, it leaches out into the surrounding area.
Huh.
Yeah. So you have
okay.
You have an adjacent sludgy area. No, it shouldn't be sludgy, but it is. Yeah. See. Here's a good picture. Oh, it went away. The internet. They just want you to click on stuff, don't they?
Yeah.
So this.
That's where like the tank is.
The graphic shows it comes from the toilet and it goes into your septic tank, and it's called scum and sludge instead of poo and pee. I guess I can't say it either. Anyway, so. That's what a leech field is. So it makes me think of leech field, where it's like almost like the king of the underworld is leeching out under these like grave sites. So like people who are just buried and their souls maybe haven't left their body yet. Those are the souls that he's taking down, but they're not as powerful as the ones taken from the living.
Oh.
And so this prince that is hungry for power is emerging outside of that. And so like, sewer drains and like backflow from toilets and things like that, just like any gross water stuff.
Oh, okay.
Maybe that's where you see them. And if it's real schlocky, we could just say like dude eating pizza on his toilet, and that's the first one who dies.
Absolutely. That's how we get like introduced to like what it can do, right?
To my best.
Dude eating pizza on the toilet. You eat food on the toilet?
No, that's gross.
Is it?
That's
no, I'm just playing. I do not either. I promise. I swear I don't.
Finger foods only.
Okay.
Roast, man. So my best emerges from the toilet and maybe comes out of like this dirty shower drain, and then like up through the sink that he clearly hasn't washed in the 20 years he's lived there. It's just covered in old toothpaste.
I was thinking like something like that, or like what if he's like, I struck gold and it's like a college dorm, or you know, like because schlocky is usually like at a high school or like at a college, where
like
people
a frat party.
Yeah, something like that. And so like this dude is like, oh, I finally got away and I'm eating this pizza. And he's like, he gets attacked or whatever, like on the, like he's literally eating on the toilet. Like it's just, he's a gross person. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe it comes up and he's just like so like pissed drunk that it just comes up like the side of him around his hand and then like onto the pizza he's eating, and like straight from the toilet to the pizza. And then he takes a great big bite of it. And that's how we start his. That's the second moment.
Oh God. Because I was thinking like, how does my best like how does my best actually like come to being in these situations, you know? Like does he just like
he does his best?
does he like appear like in the shadows and just like this because he's like a soupy black being. Like I imagine he goes through like the water if there's like shit in there, and then like he transfers through it and like becomes a being. I don't know.
It's almost like he needs the water to become real, and you see him in the shadow, like almost a human form.
Yeah,
like maybe behind the door. Maybe the guy doesn't close the door, and it's just like people are walking past outside and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you see this little shadow that's like almost human. And then it sort of slides down the wall and then joins with the water and becomes this soup that then slides onto this guy's pizza.
Oh God. So gross.
That's the schlock, bro.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So it's this potential like incorporeal form that kind of goes around dirty water.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's sort of like he needs the water to like we're 60% water or something, right? So 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, probably not. But
not 100.
Yeah. I know it's not 100.
I think it's like 70 something.
But yeah, that's like the same thing for him. He needs the water to exist. Okay. And then he can only manage a sludge because he's like this weak ass prince from the underworld.
Yeah, because he needs more souls to like become like whatever. Okay.
Yeah. That's my best.
And so like that's our introduction to
my best. There we go. Yeah. That sounds better.
So that's our introduction to him. Is at a frat party.
So then we need our protagonist. And then we can pretty much move on to our elevator pitch at that point. That's gonna be crispy. That's gonna be so crispy.
Well, yeah. So we need a protagonist, right? And then we also have like we kind of talked about like a format. So we talked about like the first manifestation of the monster and someone random getting killed, right? So that's this moment right here, yeah.
Yeah. So like this first person though, if we're saying that he's making golems. Then that would be the first. He'd be the first golem, right?
Oh, so he's just like taking over this person.
Yeah. So like that's why I was saying the leech fields, right? Like this person is now in charge of getting people to come back to the leech field. So he's gonna be like he's almost like the second beast of like he is the one that is cutting people up and then making like basically immobilizing them and then taking them back and throwing them into the sludge.
So this frat guy he's gonna be like kind of taken over, and he's gonna be the one who's the horror person, kind of.
So the way I've got this set up in my head now.
Yeah. No,
bear with me. Is he is the manifestation of the prince. He is, like I said, this golem. But the horror aspect of him is like he is like a farmer. He's just reaping things and taking them to the horrific thing. And the horror that we get to see is A, black goop, and B, this guy sort of like dead eyes harvesting people, and C is he basically just immobilizes people by using some sort of, I don't know, underdark magic or whatever the hell, and basically they're trapped inside their own body.
Mm-hmm.
And so our main protagonist, through whatever shenanigans, is going to be able to break out of that prison of being internal. So we get like an internal monologue from our protagonist, and that's how we interact with them.
Oh man. Okay.
So he almost gets like pre-harvested, and then this guy realizes he has so many bodies he needs to make a run to the leach field, and then he comes back, and in that, that space of time, it's like they see the black goop sort of inspecting, seeing how he's doing, making a couple more golems, and then like this guy is like experiencing that from being disembodied almost. I don't know. I'm trying to tie in everything.
Yeah, no, I mean this is how creation works. You're just throwing a lot of stuff in there, making sure we're both kind of like on the same page.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
How you feeling about it?
No, yeah, that makes sense. Well, it makes a lot of sense, because it's like the horror aspect of that is, like you said, he's like going out and grabbing people, and it's, the dead eyes is also like another. Ooh. There we go.
Here's an idea. Okay, so our main character, because if he's incapacitated, that's stupid. That sucks, right? The whole movie is going to suck. Instead of that, what if in the craziness, so let's say there's some sort of spectacle in all these people getting harvested. There's some sort of horribleness, and that causes a stampede of drunk college kids. And so instead of at the frat party, right? Mm-hmm. I'm still there for some reason.
Okay.
Anyway,
right.
So instead of him being one of the people that's harvested or affected by it, let's say he gets knocked out. So he's prone. He's on the ground, and he gets kind of looked over. And so like this black liquid is sort of everywhere, running through the beer and all that stuff, and like oozing into people. And then he's like sort of unconscious, and he gets up and runs away eventually. Mm-hmm. Right. And realizes that this is a town-wide phenomenon. Right. Mm-hmm. And then that's sort of the inception of our idea.
Gotcha. Yeah. What do you think the time frame should be for? Because I was thinking, like, as you were talking, like, what if this is just like a night, or like, kind of like almost real time? Because I think there's something kind of cool about like he only has like this amount of time, and like there's also the pressure of like stuff is starting to like close in on him trying to get help, I guess.
Yeah. So like in my mind, the body of the prince, my best. That's still funny. Anyway, it becomes more and more physical. So like as he's receiving more souls, it becomes more a part of our realm and our world. And so that allows him to take over more. So like it's almost like he's ascending to his throne, and there becomes some sort of like level up where he can suck people's souls from just the goop touching people. It's like it starts getting more intense. Because that's like all horror movies. It gets more intense as you go.
Right. Yeah.
And so, there's got to be some way to stop him.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't necessarily have to be part of this episode.
Yeah. Sure. That sounds good to me.
Now, there was a quote by Stephen King that was like, the less explanation, the better. It's like, let horror be horror. And I think one of the quotes that you said earlier when we were prepping for this, it said the unanswered mystery is what will stay with us the longest and what will be remembered in the end. So I think, that is a pretty cool. I like when stuff like doesn't have like a conclusion, and that's just like how they leave it. And it's like, you don't know what's going to happen. There doesn't need to be a sequel. There doesn't need to be any other thing. You're like, let your imagination let your imagination go and let it be what it is. Yeah. So you could say he stumbles into some magical thing.
That's what I think, which is cool, because it's like, okay, the guy, our main character, he's like, okay, that's where I was thinking, like, what's the time frame? Does he like go to the police station? It's like, hey, something happened at the frat party, and then they go back and it's like the place is cleaned, everything's good, and he's like, no, I swear, like something happened here, like I saw that there was something here. It was like that, and then like you see like one of the harvested like just walking, is like, you were, and the like officers just blow him off, and they're like, you are just like pulling our leg, and you said like people were dying and stuff, and we brought a squad car over here, and you just wasted our night, so kind of fuck off. And he's left on his own, and then at some point like he's going through like, no, they were here, and he's trying to figure out like what this mystery is. He's trying to go like full detective to bring something, or maybe there's one officer who does like, it's like, yeah, this seems fishy, and like these two guys pair up as a duo. And whatever the story is, they find out like, oh, that's when they find out this happened like citywide or townwide. And it's like, oh, there are a bunch of harvested here, and they're coming from or something.
Maybe like the police officer is some like super Eldritch fan who has like some collection at home.
Yeah.
That they realize is actually like those things magically merge or something like that to become this like totem to then banish him back to the underworld, which means he's not gone.
Oh yeah, what if there's like a okay, that's cool, I like that. Oh dude, brainstorm so many different ways.
There's at least 4 mind fucks we put in there. Sorry, people at home.
Yeah, for real.
So I think that's good, and like obviously any moment throughout the story to gross people out, any moment through the story to then have a suspenseful moment where it takes you a little bit longer, or you see like shadows changing in the background, or like I had a thought like maybe if he's water based in our world, then maybe it's something like the town starts to become ashy and blow away, almost like everything on the surface starts to die off.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All the moisture is just sort of
being sucked out.
Yeah.
I think it'd be like
that was my moment.
I like also like the imagery if like throughout the entire like I whatever it is, like movie script or whatever, like there's always like a black goo like moving in every scene, every shot. There's something like in the background, like there's some dark watery thing like moving, and like after you can like look back and be like, oh, it was there like this whole time. It was always on like the presence was always on screen.
Yeah. No, that's super cool.
Wow, that was my best.
That was my best too. So
that's cool.
My best, Demon Prince of Underdeep, is the story that we're coagulating right now. And we're going to kind of switch gears for a second here to do an elevator pitch. And I'm going to click and type away on the computer a couple times to show. We'll just do my favorite 2 movies, because I think you'll get the point. And maybe if you pull up your favorite 2.
Yeah, that sounds good.
On IMDb, then we'll learn a lot about each other, and we'll get to do our inspiration moment while we set up the next segment. Which, come on. So professional.
All right, sounds good. I think I have mine. That is the Wikipedia page, and that is not quite what I wanted.
Dude, the IMDb rating of both of these movies is 7.2.
Oh, for real?
I don't like movies above a 7.2.
7.6 for mine.
Whoa.
And a 8.5.
Wow.
But I mean, come on.
You have more popular films.
Yeah. Well, one of them.
All right. Well, let's start with the independent films that no one's heard of. So my favorite movie of all time, it may surprise you to know, is called Risk Cutters, A Love Story. I can't even say it without laughing. People have so many reactions when I tell them that. I'm not depressed. I'm okay. And this movie shouldn't serve to depress you if you are already prone to depression. This is actually a really interesting take on how we view life. And anyway, so enough said on my part, but it's a good one. Check it out. But here is the elevator pitch, or the one sentence that you can find to describe the movie on IMDb. And it's meant to be like a marketing thing. So like if somebody said, hey, what are you working on right now, Michael? And then you would say, oh, I'm actually working on this movie and it's about, and you give them the one sentence. So, So here's that one sentence about Risk Cutters, a love story. A film set in a strange afterlife way station that has been reserved for people who have committed suicide.
Oh, dang. That is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see why you like it.
Yeah. It's grippy.
You say it's groovy?
It's grippy. It's groovy. Groovy would have been better. Grippy's kind of schlocky.
Kind of a schlocky description of your elevator pitch.
Dude, saying schlocky too much is making me cough. So that's Risk Cutters. That's the elevator pitch for that. Will Arnett's in it. You may be surprised to know. From 2006. And then my second favorite movie of all time was made in 2012, and it is called Ruby Sparks. And this is the elevator pitch for that movie. A novelist struggling. Oh my gosh, that was schlock. Okay.
That was my best. My best. Just
my best.
Never mind.
I'm giving my best. A novelist struggling with writer's block finds romance in a most unusual way by creating a female character he thinks will love him, then willing her into existence.
Interesting.
Ooh. So it's like that old like artist story where it's like a sculptor creates a woman and he thinks it's his perfect woman. She comes to life and he's like, oh, you're a person. Shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to deal with people. So it's like that story, but written.
Gotcha.
Anyway, so those are my two. What about you?
Man,
I'm endlessly inspired by those two movies. I rewatch them about every year. I love them to death. They're so good. Check them out.
I don't know if I would say this is my favorite, but it's just one that I could think of real quick. It's one that definitely shaped me as a young adult, as a teenager.
Dude, bet.
Yeah, teenager. So Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
I don't think anyone's heard of that.
Yeah. Super niche film.
A lot of people pretend they haven't heard of it.
Yeah, I know, right? But like when you were a kid, this was the GOAT movie. This was the best lightsaber fights, way better than the ones that they have now in the sequels. Anyways,
heck yeah.
The elevator pitch is 3 years into the Clone Wars, Obi-Wan pursues a new threat while Anakin is lured by Chancellor Palpatine into a sinister plot to rule the galaxy.
Ooh. Right? That's grabby. That's probably better than the movie, honestly. Like that little 2 sentence.
Yeah, I just wish.
Yeah, there's like so much more pressure in that. That's like it's a good nugget.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the elevator pitch for that. And then my second movie is Gladiator. Which one of my like I said in a previous episode, this is one of my favorite films. A former Roman general sets out to exact. I thought it was going to say a different word.
Lock.
A former Roman general sets out to exact vengeance against the corrupt emperor who murdered his family and sent him into slavery.
And that's the whole movie, dude.
Uh-huh.
In one sentence. That's so good.
Yeah.
That is so good. So we're probably not going to hit that level because these are professionals condensing a story that has been fully written.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say it's fully fleshed out. So
we're not going to reach that level of just, damn, that's good. But we're going to try to get a good elevator pitch for you guys. And so that you can start pitching our movie wherever you're at. Just say, have you seen this movie? It's called My Best, Demon Prince of Underdeep.
There we go.
Because Underdeep sounds cool. That's probably copyrighted somewhere. But anyway, so how would you summarize? Give me one sentence or 2 sentences or 3 sentences. I think it's 3 to 5 is what they tell you, but the shorter you can get it is always better.
Yeah,
because you want to really grab people.
So I'm trying to think of how each one of those films kind of broke it down. It's like the first part was a something. So I would say whoosh. Yeah. Sounds like you're going first. An eldritch horror vies for power with his father. Against his father? the king. In the process, humanity is caught in the balance. Can one man save his town from my best of this evil? Okay.
All right, so this is rough draft 1. Okay.
Yeah.
An eldritch horror vies for power with his father, the king.
Mm-hmm.
In the process, humanity is caught in the balance. Can one man save his town from this evil? Okay, that's an okay place to start. It doesn't really grab you. It's not like a lot of sexy words or anything.
Yeah, and I'm kind of like thinking like, whereas my pitch is starting is like the Schlocky story, like a frat party goes wrong or something like that.
Ooh, yeah, no, I like that. I like that a lot.
What would say like one college dropout tries to bring the police, or like one dropout and let me write it down.
One uninvited frat party goer
and a naive detective officer, cop.
What's the word that they use for like strange people, like not like offbeat or like
weird?
No, it's not like, and one weird cop. No, it's
occult.
Yeah, like one occult enthusiast. Yeah, it doesn't even have to be a cop. Maybe just like somebody passing by that's like looking, like, like just some strange cast off kind of person that's like felt some energy or something. You know what I mean? Like they're communing with their Ouija board or something, and it was like,
okay. One college dropout and
Ouija by Hasbro
enthusiast. Ouija by Hasbro. That's
they bought the rights to it.
Did they really?
Yeah, straight up. Yeah, you can find
that's
Ouija
wild
by Hasbro.
So a frat party goes wrong. One college dropout and an occult enthusiast attempt to disrupt the plans of
my best. To overthrow or to take the throne, or to rise to power, or
attempts to disrupt a man, that's where it's tough.
Where are you at? Where are you typing at?
It's the page under.
Oh, okay, there we go. Scroll down, Henry. Copy that, Michael. Okay.
Copy that.
Copy that. So a frat party goes wrong. One college dropout and an occult enthusiast attempt to disrupt the plans of my best. My best. That's so funny.
I know.
I bet nobody listening feels as good about that as we do, but
yeah.
Somebody's silly out there, and I'm with it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we have yours, an eldritch horror vies for the power with his father, the king. In the process, humanity is caught in the balance. Can one man save his town from this evil?
Ooh, this evil? Nailed it. Okay.
And then a frat party goes wrong. One college dropout and an occult enthusiast attempt to disrupt the plans of my best.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try for the next iteration.
Yep. Oh, nice. Okay, so I'll kind of describe, like, as Henry's typing, he's putting a little bit more structure to it. So now we have not just frat party, but we have the actual fraternity, which I don't know if that's an actual fraternity or not.
I don't know. I usually feel like they have 3 names, but people call them by 2. So I'm trying to call them by 2. So I'm not using a real one.
Right. Yeah. We should look
the first 2 letters in the Greek alphabet.
Yeah.
Alpha,
We
beta.
have
It's like
alpha, beta, spring, formal. Someone's gonna be like, "Wow,
yeah.
so
really, you're gonna choose them?"
Yeah. Right. I have no idea.
You should have pledged us. Okay.
Yeah. I never did any of that.
Alpha, beta, spring, formal is disrupted by an unexplained supernatural phenomenon.
Oh, sorry. I'll keep talking while you're typing.
Not a failed student. A
dropout?
No. Like I want to give like a little bit more flavor than just dropout. Like
or you can put like failing student name.
A failing
Steve
must team up with a stranger or a strange like occult.
I think a stranger
with occult background or like with occult bearing or like with occult ties.
Yeah.
To stop their town from disappearing into the void.
Ooh, like that.
How about that? Okay, one more time. This is draft number 3.
Okay, liking it.
Alpha Beta's spring formal is disrupted by an unexplained supernatural phenomenon. A failing student must team up with a stranger with occult ties to stop their town from disappearing into the void. Man,
I'm digging that.
Yeah,
I'm digging that.
Let's keep going. We're probably 2 iterations from like a final.
Okay.
So like this is, I'll give you a chance to think since it's your turn. Mm-hmm. So we're ping ponging this.
Yeah.
So like what we're doing here is obvious, but it's also what we're trying to do is distill the idea down into something that grabs you and something that alludes to a bigger idea so that you want to hear more. That's the point of us pitching it to you. That's the point of us. We're trying to grab your attention so that it's like, yeah, he was on his way to get a sandwich, but he wants to hear more about this while he goes to a sandwich, because it's like, oh, that's actually a really cool hook for a movie. And so like people do this all the time, and it's a big, that was like one of my script writing class things. We had a whole like half a semester or something, it felt like, on taglines and pitching scripts. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We're distilling an idea down to its most sort of like outlining, but to its most essential pieces and its most exciting pieces, the things that people are like, okay, well, we have Eldritch in there, so it gets people in the ballpark. We have Occult in there, which gets people in the ballpark. And then we have Frat Party, which feels like an unrelated addition, which makes it different than other ideas, right? So we're trying to add like keywords in here to show you what all we can bring to the table. And also, like, if you got the movie based on this pitch, you'd be like, yeah, that totally was an occult guy and this college dropout trying to save the world, which is funny on its own, because it's like people who are like really into Wicca, and no offense, but it's like they're different people, and they really enjoy what they do, and they're very in touch with nature in a different way, and it's like they're not going to be like a frat dude if you walk up to him. And then this guy is like failing out of college, so we assume maybe he's not that book smart. And for TV, you can play that up even more. For both of those things, you can make him like this an odd hippie that would normally be homeless, but for some reason he's fully competent and self-sustaining. And then this student who's like actually dumb, more so than a normal person would be. And we have comedy in that. So that's one of the relationships that we're trying to play off in this tagline, as well as just giving you the stakes of like, this town is going to be destroyed, and we don't really know why, other than spirits beyond our comprehension are going at it. What's your? Are you done with yours, Michael?
I think so. It's it's tough, to keep doing these iterations while still maintaining audio.
Yeah.
So I put, very, very close to yours, because I really did like that. I think it has a lot of elements already in there, but I just kind of changed some of the wording around a little bit. And we'll see, what we can, move this to. Unexpected tragedy strikes the Alpha Beta spring formal.
Nice. An
occult enthusiast and a flunking college student must team up to stop this supernatural phenomenon from taking their city into the void.
Ooh, no, that's really good. That's really good. I think that's gonna be. This is like our first final draft.
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah.
That's like a lot of really charged charged words, a lot of really good imagery in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Love it.
And I what I really like is, there's so many like different elements, and I kind of zoned you out while you were talking, but
that's what you're supposed to do. That's why we vamp.
The element like I really like about this is like, with the schlocky horror movie, like what is the thing that's going to drive people? There's going to be a party. There's going to be that one guy. Like it's going to have those elements in it, and that's what makes it schlocky horror. It is kind of like finding those components that do work and that people watch and that people will continue to rewatch again somehow, some way. Not me, but I know other people do.
There's the pretty girl, there's the light horror, and there is the
exactly like there's going to be like the cheerleader in here. There's going to be the jock in there. Like those stereotypes are going to be there. There's going to be, the occult guy might be like the super nerd, and the failing student is going to be like, your typical stereotypical flunked out of college, student.
I said something not so nice about Wicca people. That's what you tuned out.
Oh.
I didn't mean it like that. It's just like it's a different way of living. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's.
Yeah. So, it's going to take all these elements. And of course, it's all up here right now. And as we would actually be able to put stuff down to, pen and paper, actually make a script or, whatever this is going to turn into. I think that there's a lot of room to continue to change this. And I think this is a damn good pitch for just having, what do we have? Half a page of notes? I guess, yeah, half a page of notes on this. So, and what we have kind of in our headspace right now. So I think, this is looking pretty good.
I think so too. I think we're like a couple of words and a couple of changes away from a final draft. And I think so let's take it sentence by sentence. Unexpected tragedy strikes the Alpha Beta's spring formal. Let's do, make it a little bit more pointed. So I'm going to copy paste that so I don't lose that iteration.
Yeah, sounds good.
Just to narrate. And then, so let's do supernatural, maybe tragedy, strikes the Alpha Beta spring formal. And that's just like a little bit more pointed. Unexpected is good, but when you throw in spring formal, it's like, okay, yeah, tragedy strikes. Okay, unexpected maybe is maybe not a throwaway word, but it's like we don't want to use any single one word that isn't driving the point home, because this is such a short form story,
right?
And feel free to disagree. I'm just sort of like roughing this out since we're on air, Yeah.
No, you're good. I kind of agree with that. It's like unexpected too. It's like, well, yeah, no shit. It's going to be a horror, like a horror film. It would be like how, if you're putting this to film, like the marketing is going to be. So they're going to know something's going to happen here, but you don't necessarily know what it is. Unexpected, everyone knows something's going to happen, except for, I guess, the people there. So a supernatural tragedy strikes the spring.
I don't know how to spell luau, so that's how do you spell luau?
It is it's a Hawaiian word, so I'm gonna
Louis Ow. How do we
came up with those are people.
Spelling it so bad, it's a person's name.
Yeah.
Louis Ow. Anyway, so luau. That gives us like a very specific party that's like a little different than a spring formal, because spring formals can be a lot of different things. So I'm like,
for everyone listening, luau, Luau.
Okay, yeah, that wasn't even close. I put LOO space OW. So that was my classical training in school. Okay, season 2, sentence 2. An occult enthusiast and a flunking college student must team up to stop this supernatural phenomenon from taking their city into the void. So let me take the first half of that sentence. An occult enthusiast and a college flunky, right?
Ooh, I like that better.
So,
I like that better.
So college flunky, and let's see. Okay, so an occultist. There we go.
Ooh, nice.
An occultist.
Yeah.
And a college flunky team up to investigate the supernatural phenomenon. No, stop is not impactful enough.
Right.
I feel like let me look up synonyms.
Dude, I was thinking the same thing.
Okay. Nice.
Synonyms for a stopper.
Cease, end, finish, pause, break off, halt, wind up, terminate, finish, close, standstill, cessation, conclusion, stoppage, to fight the supernatural phenomenon, to uncover.
Uncover is a good one. I like that one the best so far.
Okay. So let's hear it as a sentence. An occultist and a college flunky team up to uncover this supernatural phenomenon from taking their city into the void. Okay. So
or we could say impede. To impede the well, we've already used supernatural, so we're gonna have to take that one out anyways.
All right, so let's leave stop where it is. That we're at a weird point with that, so maybe that is actually the right word.
College flunky team
to stop. To stop their city from being taken into the void. Okay. So let me try this out loud and let me see if there's any words that grab you. I know like an English lesson or English editing may not be super exciting to listen to, but I think it's really fun. I think it's like I get inspired more from hearing people actually work than I feel like I do from just about anything. Like I don't listen to a lot of podcasts for that reason. Like I like the really condensed, like let's get to work together kind of stuff. So if it's boring, let us know though, because we're not trying to bore you, but we're having a good time.
Yeah.
Let's get this elevator pitch right. A supernatural tragedy strikes the Alpha Beta Spring Luau. An occultist and a college flunky team up to stop their city from being taken into the void. Okay. Super dense, 2 sentences. However, the one thing that jumps out at me is that we have the Spring Luau, and then we talk about the city. So I want to take it away from city and say, stop their fraternity from being taken into the void. So like the occultist is like a graduate, maybe.
Okay. I see that. That's what I was like, where does the occultist fit in to that? An
alumnist. An alumni occultist.
I honestly, I think that's too many words there. And alumni occultist. I think if we left it like that, I think there is a little bit of intrigue in an occultist and a college flunky team up to stop their fraternity from being taken into the void. I know I'd be like, occultist frat,
yeah,
dude, kind of interesting.
I think that, yeah, I think that's good. You feel good about that one? I feel great.
I think, yeah. I feel good. I mean, again, like it's one of those, like, this is a good pitch for right now to like try and bring it to somebody, and then, it'll change. But I think as an elevator pitch, yeah, this is good because we have stuff to like back it up. If anyone were to ask questions like, what do you mean occultist, blah, blah, blah. Why isn't a occultist in a frat? He's
Dude,
like, well,
let's run it. Let's run it. Okay. Ding. The door's closed. We're on the elevator. What have you been up to, Michael?
Well, I've been working on this script, man. I would really love to pitch it to you.
Sure. Go ahead. I got a meeting after this, but
okay. What floor are you going to?
I'm going to 7.
7? Okay, sweet. So am I. So I'll just keep it brief. Here's my script. I just, how long is the script supposed to be?
Like 90 pages for a movie.
Holy shoot.
You should know that if you're pitching.
Right.
Just so you know.
That's just
jeez.
Okay. 90 pages. Here is my pitch to you. A supernatural tragedy strikes the Alpha Beta Spring Luau. An occultist and a college flunky team up to stop their fraternity from being taken into the void.
Wow, that sounds schlocky and fun. I would like to hear more. Forget this meeting.
Let's talk.
Let's talk. There we go. See, it's as
easy as that. Oh my god,
that
crazy!
Wow. We just made so much money off of that guy in the elevator.
Yes.
So hopefully you had fun today. I know we did. We definitely. getting your story done quickly, that's fun. That's almost easy, right?
Yeah.
Writing it on the page is the hard part. And then taking that and distilling it down to 2 or 3 sentences is way hard, especially when you have the whole thing written down. It's like you love different parts of your story and you want to include it in the tagline. But it's almost like the tagline is a great thing to create at the beginning, because then you have your focus. You have, this is what I am aiming for. It's a great, for a story that I've been working on for a little while here, actually writing a script for, I asked Shannon, who was on the show not so long ago, to start doing some character art for. And as soon as I sent that off, I was like, I don't have a tagline for this, because I know as soon as I sent the email, I was like, she's going to ask, what's the story about? What's the world I'm creating this for? And I was like, I don't have that tagline for her. And it took me like 2 weeks because we've done so much backstory on it, because I've done so many different iterations of the first few pages, just trying to set up that foundation and getting a little bit scared of pressing forward. But yeah, so it took me like 2 weeks. I mean, while I had a full-time job to give myself an excuse, but still, it took me a while. And I finally arrived at something that I like. It's not ready for prime time, but I like it. And
it's very good. I really enjoyed reading it.
Hey, thanks. So these are good things to do early on, and these are good things to keep in mind, to know that, or at least to make pitching a little bit more attainable. It's like, oh, it's just like a summary of my outline almost, but it's trying to make it zesty. Yeah,
for sure.
Hell yeah,
I like it, dude. That was fun. I haven't really ever had to make an elevator pitch before, so I really like that challenge. I guess I've created like monsters through D&D and like, trying to give them like scary characteristics, but like as far as the elevator pitch, that was something new for me, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, you came along for 2 new things: horror and an elevator pitch. That's great, man.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you.
Yes,
and I
sir.
appreciate all of you creative thinkers all across the globe for joining us week after week. Our listenership has been like through the roof, and just couldn't be more grateful. So thank you so much, and we'll catch you next time on the Creative Thinker Podcast. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.